All right, so now that we have a little bit of our interpretation sorted out, and we'll watch for our other interpreter to see if she makes it. So thank you for your patience if you need a Russian interpreter, and we will work on that. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Christine Baldwin, who will be introduced later, but she is our high school success coach here at Oregon City High School, and definitely is a key player to helping lift our students to be successful in all these different formats. And so with that, I'm going to turn the time over to her, and she will discuss what's going next.
Thank you, Dr. Erickson. Tonight we have prepared for you an orientation that will help you and your students feel prepared and hopefully a little bit excited for the upcoming school year. Our agenda is full packed, as you can see, but we're hoping that this will help you familiarize yourself with the staff, learn about some offerings, hear some great messages, and prepare for distance learning. We know that there's a lot of unknowns in this time, but we feel that after tonight, you may feel a lot more prepared for the upcoming school year. So we have an amazing administration, and I'd like to introduce you to them. Our principal, Carrie Wilhelm, Associate Principal, Stacy Erickson, Associate Principal, Toby Futch, our new Associate Principal, Mike Steed, our new Dean of Students who's come to us from Gardner Middle School here in Oregon City, Lynn Barry, and our Athletic Director and Associate Principal, Andy Jones. And as you can see, students are connected to the administrators based on their last name. So as you see in the screen here, students A through G work with Dr. Erickson, H through O work with Mr. Futch, and students with the last initials of P through Z work with Mr. Steed.
Stacy, this is Carrie, and we are having a little bit of problem with the interpretation in Spanish, I believe.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, sorry about that. So,
it looks like it's backwards, maybe.
I will double check it. So I think I have to stop sharing for a second. And thank you. And I'm going to go in there and okay, so let me make sure. So
La interpretación creo que estamos un poquito encimados.
sounds like, oh, but that's interpreting everything. Okay. So we shouldn't hear that, or we should? Lisa, Norman, are you still on this call?
No creo que
You should be able to assign her to English to Spanish, and hopefully she can hear you she could hear you, but you should not be able to hear her.
Manage language interpretation. Okay. It says,
just to jump in.
yeah.
I believe, Ruth, can you keep going?
Yes, absolutely. Can you hear me? ¿Me escuchan?
I can hear you now in the correct room.
Okay, so it's Spanish, English.
Okay, so we are good.
That's the button. I
We
can
are-
hear you. I can
we are
hear you.
good.
Can you hear me? You're not
Yes.
supposed to hear me. Can you hear
No,
me?
we're not supposed to hear her.
Because the people that speak Spanish are the ones that is, right. You shouldn't be hearing me or listening.
Okay,
Ruth,
so
Ruth, when I'm in the Spanish room now and I can hear you.
okay, so now can you still hear her, Michael? Okay, we're working on it one more time.
Yeah, she wasn't talking. She's speaking.
Yes.
Good.
Now it seems right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you everyone for your patience.
Great.
Yes, I'm in with you.
Great. And it sounds like Christine can now share her screen.
We are good to go. Thank you, everybody.
Now we're really getting it. Thank you for your patience, everyone.
And at this wonderful moment of changes, I have an amazing principal that I'd love to have speak to the group. So with that, I welcome our principal, Carrie Wilhelm, for a wonderful message.
Thank you, Christine, and thank you all for being here. We are so thankful that you're here and listening and being willing to take some time out of your evening to support your students in their education and entrusting your students with us at Oregon City High School. We appreciate your patience that you have given us and the grace and understanding as we've navigated through this time of adapting our model of teaching and learning. We all know that this year is going to look different than any year we have ever experienced before in education. However, our mission remains the same. We strive to create a safe and caring environment where all students acquire skills, knowledge, and behaviors necessary to be a productive citizen for an ever-changing world. The OCHS staff are here to support and educate our students. We truly care for each and every one of our students and our families. So please reach out to us if you need anything, and know that we are here for you, and we're excited for the beginning of this school year.
Thank you, Principal Wilhelm. And I'd like to introduce the counselors. There may be some counselors here this evening that I'd like to give a warm welcome to. We have John Lucente, Brandon Coop, Megan McBride, Teresa Kaufman, Nasim Sarimi, Brooke Zalewski. As you see with counselors, students are again placed with their last name connected to the counselors. So if your last name begins with any of the letters in red, you would associate with the counselors that are listed next to those names, those alphas. And the primary role of our guidance counselors are to work with students to help them balance their social emotional learning experiences and counsel them to their academic excellence. And with that, I'd like to share the Pioneer Pantry and have Carrie Wilhelm tell us a little bit more about it.
Thank you. Pioneer Pantry is a organization that is here to support our students to feed bodies and minds. And it is housed in Oregon City High School, but serves Oregon City High School students, Case students, students at Jackson campus, and students at OCHS. And so if you are somebody who is in need of support from the Pioneer Pantry for food, particularly on the weekends when we do not serve food at the school sites, please check out our website. The Pioneer Pantry can be linked from the Oregon City High School website or the district website. And you can see there, there's an enrollment form. And so if you are needing support, please do not hesitate to fill out that enrollment form. All of that information stays 100% confidential, and we want to support you in getting you and your students the food that you need. If you are someone who has plenty and is blessed with that, that abundance, please feel free to donate. You can also donate on that site, and we appreciate all donations. If you have any questions and need support with food or any other necessities, please reach out to your school counselor or any of the administrative team.
Thank you so much. So I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Christine Baldwin. I am the Student Success Coach at Oregon City High School. This is my second year at the high school. Prior to that, I worked 10 years in the online world as a teacher and then as administrator. So the new transition for me feels very natural. And I'd like to be able to share that I look forward to being able to connect with students, build relationships with them, and then also with families. So my primary role as the success coach is to help ninth grade students and new students transition into the high school. It's a big jump from 8th grade to 9th grade, and so having the extra support for families and students and even teachers helps build a different type of community that creates relationships, and through that, success is reached. And so we work really hard together as a team to be able to connect each other in academics, in social experiences, in goal setting, and so we work diligently to build those relationships that will create long life learners. So I thank the school district for the opportunity to be able to be in this unique position, as it gives me a great opportunity to connect with everyone outside of the high school as well as inside of the high school.
Christine, I'm going to pause you for 2 seconds. Down at the bottom of your screen is a Q&A button where you can put in questions or concerns or thoughts, and we are going to have a Q&A point at the end of the time, and that will then we will be answering some of those there. And you're still having a little bit of, oh, took care of it, Christine. Perfect. Screen issues are great. Now you're all good.
And with that, I'd like to introduce the Athletic Director and Associate Principal, Andy Jones.
Thank you, Christine, and welcome to all the parents that are here this evening. As you can see, we offer about 24 different athletic programs over 3 sports seasons, fall, winter, and spring. This year, we are venturing into brand new territory as our athletic calendar has been modified with the distance learning experience that we're all going through right now. Currently, all of winter sports are scheduled to start at the end of December, fall sports at the beginning of March, and spring sports at the beginning of May. We will start doing registration for all of those 3 seasons coming up in the next couple of weeks. We are patiently waiting for Clackamas County to enter into phase 2 so that our student athletes can start working out together with coaches under strict COVID-19 guidelines. But we're excited to get started with another year. I know that we will have many of our student athletes patiently waiting to also get started, but for incoming freshmen, this is a great opportunity for you to get exposure to high school by becoming part of one of these teams that you see. I also oversee the clubs and activities at Oregon City High School, and we have quite a few choices for kids to choose from to find a niche within our school, to find some way to buy in, to meet people, make new friends, and also to pursue the interests that they have. This is just a partial list. This is what was offered in clubs in 2019-2020. We will be having a club fair coming up in the next couple of weeks towards the end of September. So please keep a lookout for that. We will have a few more clubs. We are looking at having those clubs done virtually during our distance learning time, because it's very important that these kids also partake in activities as well as their academic studies. So please get them involved, have them find something, and if they don't see something, have them contact myself, and we can always start a new club. So again, thank you for coming tonight, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Hey, Andy, there was one quick question about softball on the previous slide, might have been left off, and that was just an accident, correct?
Yes, it was just an accident. We are still having softball.
Right on. Thanks.
And just a plug, for 9th grade families that may be joining us tonight that did not get to join us last week, Link Crew will be starting up next week, offering some opportunities for our upperclassmen to be able to connect 9th grade students to their new environment. We know that the virtual experience is unique this year, and so we have some awesome Link Crew leaders who are upperclassmen that will be connecting with them on Tuesday. And you'll receive that information come this week, early next week. And with that, I'd like to introduce Erica Frafford. She is our College and Career Coordinator, and take it away.
Thanks, Christine. Hi, welcome everybody. I'm Erica in the College and Career Center and the College and Career Coordinator at Oregon City High School. I'm also the head volleyball coach, patiently waiting for volleyball season to start up again. But what we wanted to let you know is that college and career information is still going on in the CDL environment, and there's a lot out there, and we're here to support you. One of the big things that we can do for all of our families and students is use our college and career program based called Naviance. Students should be somewhat familiar with it, but it's more robust this year. And a lot of the colleges, since they're doing a lot of virtual events, they are listed in our Naviance account. So when students sign on to their Naviance account, they can see colleges that have signed up for virtual tours or virtual admissions meetings, that they can talk to colleges about what is it like to get into college in this coming year. Seniors can also use Naviance for their letters of recommendation, to get their transcripts sent electronically. A lot of senior information, but it's also good for juniors, sophomores, and freshmen as well. And then there's also lots of road trip videos that you can just on your free time search around and see how people choose careers and what kind of careers are out there, all the new exciting careers that are, you know, going on right now, and what are the possibilities to get into that career. What kind of education do you need? What kind of training? What does that look like? And how have people got to their career path? It's not always a straight line. A lot of times it's very wavy. Christine, can you go to the next slide? I also help out with PSATs, SATs, ACT information. I have a wealth of information. Our PSAT right now is kind of, Principal Wilhelm, it's not doing it this year, or at least not right now, currently in the fall. We have lots of career exploration, a lot of contacts and talking to people about different careers, how they got there. The admission visits again, and then scholarships and financial aid. Come October when the FAFSA comes out, we do a big push with our seniors to get them the financial aid that they really need and helping families with that process. And we're here to support you. So if you have any questions, we have the resources to help you out, and you can always email me or email your counselor, and they will also get you in contact with me. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have a message from Kathy Varner, our AVID site coordinator. Kathy?
Hi, thanks, Christine. Thank you, Erica, also with all that great information about college, because AVID is here to help determined students get to college also. AVID is a nationwide program, and we have it here at Oregon City. Some of you may know about it already from the middle school. AVID's mission is to close the achievement gap by preparing all students for college readiness and success in a global society. My main job as a coordinator is to support our students who are enrolled in the AVID elective. I also help recruit students into the program who are determined to go to college and are from traditionally underserved communities. The AVID elective curriculum includes college prep and career exploration, just like what Erica was describing, but it's in an intimate environment in a class with other students who are like them. It supports academic rigor and actually emotional support too for the students who are being challenged by things around them. And we have a very high success rate with our students in the program. Over 90% of our seniors in the program get into a college.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Sharon Pittenger, she is our tag coordinator for our building, and she's also the international seminar coordinator, and she's in our social sciences department. Sharon?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming to our information night. I've been the building tag facilitator for quite a while now, and of course I will continue to work with teachers in terms of looking for eligible students and testing them using the Oregon Department of Education guidelines. But my primary role at the high school is to connect kids with appropriate activities that meet their tag needs. This could happen in the classroom. We have a number of honors program classes, advanced college credit classes, and AP courses. We have extracurricular opportunities. You saw our list of clubs a few slides ago. Many of those clubs are academic opportunities. International seminars, speech and debate are already getting started this year. Literary magazine, thespian, National Honor Society, and Science National Honor Society will be happening, and I believe robotics. So those will be virtual for now, but nice opportunities for our students. And there are out-of-school opportunities as well. Saturday Academy is running virtual programs, and I'm sure there will be other programs that come on board as the year gets going. You can watch for information about the student and parent meeting. We'll have that probably around the end of September or early October in conjunction with the club fair. And there will also be a Google Classroom set up for TAG students to keep them informed about some of the out-of-school opportunities that will be happening this year.
Thank you so much, Sharon. I appreciate your time. So with special education, IEPs, and 504s, the virtual students student supports are available for these students that have these IEPs or 504 situations. 504s, contact your student's counselor with questions regarding 504s. IEPs, you'll contact your student's case manager with questions regarding IEPs. Scheduling questions can be answered by your student's counselor in collaboration with their case manager. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact Jenny McKenzie, and her contact information is there. So throughout this experience, starting in the spring, we've heard a lot of different terms floating around. And so what we wanted to do was ensure that you understood the terms that we're using this evening. So comprehensive distance learning refers to the learning that students can do from home. So what we've been doing since spring and now entering into the fall, while it may look different from spring to this year, the term comprehensive distance learning means that school will start in your home or learning space, not at a building. And with that, terms such as synchronous learning and asynchronous learning are being used in conversations, words that we haven't really heard before because we were learning in a classroom, which a classroom can be considered synchronous space, but in the online world, learning that involves a group of students and teachers meeting at the same time, like we are this evening, is considered real time, also known as synchronous learning spaces. So your students will be learning in synchronous spaces with their teachers, just like we're listening tonight. They'll be engaging in conversations with each other, with their teacher, learning through materials in this synchronous learning environment. Asynchronous space is where students are learning on their own time. So you may see your student logging into a Zoom session or a Google Meets with their teacher, but they will also have asynchronous learning experiences located in the Google Classroom, where they may have to read some materials, submit projects or responses, and that is called asynchronous learning. So your student will have a combination of both that will solidify the comprehensive distance learning experience while we're in it.
Christine, could we pause
Yes.
just one moment? So
Sure.
there are parents and families in the audience that are signed up under option 2, which now is called the Oregon City Online Program, OCOP, which is a 100% online in contrast to the possibility that the CDL arrangement could become a hybrid arrangement as the county reaches certain metrics about health and release. And so for the OCOP parents that are in the audience, there was one question from a family wondering that they couldn't log into Student View and doesn't know their student schedule. And the OCOP school program is currently there are scheduling students and matching and articulating courses, and you will receive more information about that when the OCOP program, which is a smaller program of Oregon City School District, the Student View access changed, and so you will get more instructions on how to log into Parent View and Student View. And there was one more question about it. And when will we receive the link to log into the online school? And that will, I believe if that's referring to OCOP, the information will be coming. And we'll talk a little bit about parent information and the sequence for our CDL program that's here at OCHS. And at that point, we are not knowledgeable exactly when the emails will come out for OCOP, but it is very much in progress. And the startup of a school and articulating schedules and reforecasting, it takes a moment to really personalize that learning and the schedules for those students. And there will be synchronous and asynchronous opportunities in that program too. So thank you, Christine, for starting that discussion on those terms that are new to most of us.
And with that, Dr. Erickson, would you help our families know exactly how they're going to get started?
So we have a message, we have a plan. We have a plan for making sure that every student knows where to be on the certain days and how to get to their class. And so tomorrow there will be an email that goes out to all OCHS CDL families that talks about what needs to be done before the first day and what the first week looks like. And I think that schedule is up coming up soon. So we'll get back to that. But the checklist, one of the most important things is that we will be using Zoom for those synchronous sessions. There's 2 platforms that actually are available for district personnel to use to communicate through synchronous learning. One is Zoom, which we are on a Zoom webinar tonight, and one is Google Meets. A majority of our staff at OCHS are using Zoom. Currently at this moment, we're working on rostering for accounts. There have been students and families who got calls from their mentor team teachers that said, hey, make sure to make a Zoom account. And when the student went to go make the Zoom account, it said they couldn't. Well, we are in the process of rostering every student in the district. So there's a K-12 arrangement that that supersedes with safety and federal regulations, so that regular Zoom won't allow someone under 16 to sign up. And so the reason why we need Zoom accounts is because if a student is using a parent's account, only one person can log into that account on one device at a time. And so we have plenty of multi-device families, multi-student families, and parents working from home. And so we believe that in the next few days, as a student logs into their student account or course link, which Christine is going to talk about, that this will go smoothly. We actually just found out about the rostering a few hours ago, and which is a really great thing, but it's still a little bit in motion. So at this time, if students don't have an account on the first day of school, they will have the links to be able to check. So if you see there that watch this video, it's gonna be live so that you can click the video. It's really important that you communicate with your student about using their first and last name in their account name title, because that's an important piece of how students get let into class, so that the names are correct and matching with student roles. We also want students to log in to confirm their classes. The Google Classrooms are currently being built by teachers, so there are plenty that are up and active, but literally until the 8th, which is the first day, there are plenty that are being constructed. And so if you log in, if you go to Student View and you don't see all your classes, and then you log in, or you do see your classes, and in Google Classroom you don't see all of them, just keep checking. Right there it says 8:31 to 9:08, so keep checking. And the Zooms will be for 9th grade. You're going to receive an email on Friday that tells you what links to press, and and for everyone else, they're going to go to their Google Classrooms. And so the one last thing is that we will be sending out an attachment to tomorrow's email that's called OCHS Zoom Class Norms, and it talks about how to be a wonderful professional student on Zoom, and helps to kind of build that the norms and the rules around safe and happy and wonderful synchronous sessions, because we didn't do a ton of it in the spring, and that's one of the best things about fall. So we're pretty excited about it. Teachers are excited, and we're here to help everybody get online and get the access that they need. So I think I'm going to turn it back to Christine now. Yep.
Yes. So where do we find this information? You'll notice that Oregon City has a website. And so students who have been in the district for a long time know exactly where all of this is located. And I highly encourage you to have your students sit down with you and click away and show you exactly how to get to all of this curriculum that we're talking about. At the high school, teachers have been using some Google Classroom experiences. They use the class link. And so I want to familiarize you with this website. And so there's up at the top, it'll tell you different places for you to click. So this goes directly to the high school. Students would click on the student tab up at the top. Stacy, do I have a pointer? That's one thing I'm unable to tell. Do I have a pointer?
Kind of. Let's see. Hit that again.
I'll do the, can you see the
Yep,
red?
Yep.
All right. So there's a student tab up here that students click on, and they are brought to this web links. For new families, students will click on the student email and apps button. They will be brought to class link. Class link is where they will sign in. They'll have a password. They'll click the sign in button, and then they're brought to this blue screen here where it says Oregon City School District 62. This is the platform, the location to which they will find their Google Classroom tab, and they give it a click. They'll click this one here, and they'll be able to get into what looks like this. Students are super familiar with this who've been in the district, so please, I encourage you to take the time to sit down with your students and have them click through these multiple locations so you can familiarize yourself with it too. Ms. Pittenger has allowed me to use her class as an example. This is what a Google Classroom looks like. So once you're in, your student will have this type of square. It will tell the student once they click on it, click on the class view for the classwork tab for assignments. So what does that mean? We're over here. This is the learning space. And as you can see, there will be a place to get started. What do we need to do? We're using Week at a Glance for our classrooms at the high school. This is a place that students will be able to actually see what's going to happen for the entire week. And then that way there's this known element in a very unknown or unfamiliar space. So the Week at a Glance allows each student to know what's happening. Teachers will provide announcements, offer attendance. There'll be some attendance information that students will be clicking on. And then down at the bottom, you can see where it'll say week 1 assignments, and our classrooms are going to be designed by week, so students know exactly where to find the content. This will be streamlined throughout all classes to make it easier for students to transition from classroom to classroom.
But Christine, will you go back to the previous slide real quick?
Yes.
So this class link is a really great landing page where apps that the district is using are situated so kids can find them all. In this part of the Zoom rostering process that I described, the Zoom will appear here as an app. They've added that, and it should be happening in the next 3 to 4 days. And someone had asked, well, if we used Zoom in the spring, will they have a new login and our registration? It should seamlessly merge. And so if they had signed up already with their school email address, it should be just fine. If they signed up with a different email address, now that they will have a Zoom account that is registered to their OCHS student address. And so that part is a welcome change as far as making it more simple to find what they need. So that was just, I just wanted to add that to the class link discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Were there any questions about the Google Classroom space?
No, I think we're good on that for right now.
So up at the top here, you'll see these terms. And so what they look like or what they mean is the stream is a place where teachers may post announcements to their students, little bits of get to know you kind of items, maybe due dates that are coming up. But where the classwork is under the tab called classwork. That's where this particular screen will be located. So your students will become familiar with that as they're clicking through. They will have information about what their assignments are, how to submit. So you'll want to familiarize yourself with this screen once your students are in their actual Google Classrooms, one classroom per class. So you should see, I believe it's 5. And then if you have an early bird or a late bird, there may be another class. So and then there'll be some others as different teachers have shared. There may be Google Classrooms associated with different clubs or programs as well. And then people, this is a great place for students to be able to communicate with their teacher. They'll also have a list of their classmates. So they'll be able to see who the teacher is. And then right next to the teacher's name, they will have a tab that they can click on and email directly to their teacher with any questions that they have. We've talked a lot about Zoom and Google Meets, and this is a place that you will have your student will have their synchronous live sessions. We're working really hard to ensure that all teachers are trained in this. Again, this is all new for staff. This is not something that we've used in the past. So we've been diligently training staff on how to use Zoom, how to set up all the different settings, and Zoom does a great job of protecting our students with forced settings for security purposes. We're also using this district-wide, so you may see that they're using that at the elementary level, the middle school level, and the high school level. This is all to build consistency among our district. And as students enter the Zoom space or the Google Meet space, depending on teacher choice, but the majority of students will start with Zoom, teachers will be teaching their students how to actually use Zoom. So Zoom etiquette, rules that go with being in a Zoom classroom, how to talk with each other, and so on and so forth, so that the interaction is all about dialogue, connection, and community. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to teachers on their particular learning environments, or reach out to staff that can help you. Maybe if if you need assistance with getting logged in or figuring out how to use the tool. Tonight's a great example for all of us because we're using Zoom and we're hearing what's happening. We're seeing different tools, and before you know it, we'll all be real experts in this new type of learning experience.
Christine, I wanted to add one question, or answer one question here. One parent said, should my students know all this? Was it used in the spring or is this new? So Google Classroom was definitely 100% of our teachers use that as the learning platform in the spring. Zoom wasn't used across the institution as much. We didn't do as much synchronous class meetings. And so one of the neat things about comprehensive distance learning is there's support from the ODE and support from the best practices for distance learning, so that we have class sessions together so that kids can connect with each other, that kids can connect with their teacher, and the different pieces of that. Another person asked, will the online program, which I believe is, if it's referring to OCOP, which is the separate program, be using Google Classroom? I believe they have a different learning platform. And so that helps with the curriculum and delivery on that. So they will be learning that, and there will be some time for them to learn that. So thank you.
Stacy, to add into that, they may also use some Google Classroom for some social emotional learning or advisory type classes and activities. So Google Classroom is definitely something that most of our students will use either in both programs.
And one question that does apply right in here, but how does a new student get an email address to log in? Is that once they become a student and registered, they receive an email in their Gmail account?
New students, if they don't know their email address, they can reach out to Holly Stone to get that information. And that's the same for parents and Parent View. If you need support with that, reach out to Holly Stone. And I think there's a slide coming later.
And there's a detail also about in the email that comes out tomorrow to all families, to the listed home address, that will have that also. Awesome. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you. I have the pleasure of introducing Lynn Barry, our new Dean of Students, who will tell us more about grades and attendance.
Awesome. Thank you, Christine. I am super excited to work with all of you, your families. This year is excited to see some of you parents and students. Again, you're much older, I'm sure, when I see you. But so with grades, so this year grades, students will earn grades and that will factor in through their GPA. So unlike in the spring, students earned an incomplete or a pass, and it didn't factor into their GPA, but this year it is. So just making sure that students are aware of that and getting their work in and connecting with their teachers so that they can, you know, stay up to grade in their practice. Attendance, that's also something this year that is going to be taken and it is required. Teachers will be taking it in synchronous learning, could be like roll call, it could be question of the day. Definitely it's going to be taken during asynchronous, which is not the Zoom meetings. Assignments, just different ways that students can show that they are participating in the online learning and in their classes. So is there anything I missed in there, staff?
No, I think you did it.
Beautiful. Welcome.
And then as the ninth, thank you. And as the ninth grade success coach, we'll be working with ninth graders to ensure they understand these platforms that they may not have used and help them be able to understand their grades and attendance as well. So thank you so much, Ms. Barry. Appreciate that. And now for the moment that we've been waiting for, what does the schedule look like? And so we want to be able to talk to you a little bit about the schedule. And so with that, I share the mic with Dr. Erickson, who will go over what all of this means and how to interpret it.
All right, so we did have some questions about how does it say that there's 45-minute periods when there's a 90-minute band of time. So what we've done carefully in this schedule is to try to construct a schedule where students can see their teachers at least twice a week. And there is a range of possibility for that class because we have a lot of families, a lot of multiple kid families. We have a lot of teacher families. And so we needed to have a little bit of flexibility within that range. And so here's the process. Teachers who teach first period, everyone look at the first period on Monday and also on Thursday, they will choose within the range of 10:30 and 12 the 45-minute period that their class will be synchronous, that their students will expect to have their class meeting. This time will be posted not only inside the Google Classroom, but also we will be posting these by teacher and by period on an outward facing part of our website. So currently we're collecting from each teacher the time within the 90-minute span that they will be scheduling their class, and it will be on a regular 15 minutes. So like there could be a 10:30 to 11:15 session for period 1 on Monday. There could be, 10:30 to 11:15, yes. And then there also could be a 10:45 to 11:30. So these will stay consistent throughout the trimester. And it will be notice home to parents, and you can look it up on the website. And so it'll probably be like a really big kind of spreadsheet / directory, and that you can expect to know when your student should have class. We've done a little bit, if you notice, the first class on Tuesday and Friday starts at 8:30. Back when we were in brick and mortar, if everyone remembers, that our schedule shifted to later in the day. For that has been research proof that teenagers do better in that, and it was a school board. We had a long group decision about that, and so that was pretty exciting. But we did focus on a softer start on Monday morning, and then having the first sessions possibly start at 8:30. If you look on Thursday, mentor teams is our type of advisory, and at the high school, we are going to spend that time to really do SEL, which is social and emotional learning for students, and to do check-in. If your child has an early bird or late bird classes such as band and choir, I think there might be a PE class earlier, and then late bird is like a tech, theater tech class. Those actually meet at that morning swath. And someone did put in the questions, how will PE classes run? And in the spring, there's a lot of activity and action that happens outside of the synchronous sessions. And you can maybe expect there'll probably be some synchronous sessions that are a yoga workout and all the different pieces of depending on what the PE class is. So they're pretty excited. Part of this also, if this is posted in the Google Classroom, someone asked, do parents have access to Google Classroom? And you have access as a guardian that gets updates about assignments and updates about, but actually if you want in that Google Classroom, you're going to have to go in with your student. They ask them to share it with you, and so that you can see what's going on. And that definitely is a reasonable conversation point for parents. And so during the first week, will you hit the next slide, Christine? The first week's schedule is very different. On Tuesday, we have our 9th grade day. And the 9th grade day is going to start out with a morning meeting and the mentor teams, and then they're going to run through their schedule, they're going to zoom through their schedule at about 20-minute periods with 10-minute passing time, and there's some fun activities planned, and that is 9th grade and new students. starting on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is different than the schedule that I just showed you. This first week, we're going to, it's kind of a soft start so that we can work on some skills with students. We can go through Google Classroom and Zoom expectations and all the different pieces of that. And so these class times are fixed. This is and there will be certain times to show up for each class. Students on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will log into their Google Classroom and get their Zoom links. And we are going to have a student family help desk, which we will get out the Zoom links for, which is sort of like office hours, so that if someone needs help or you need support, we're going to have that rolling too. So this first week's schedule has a lot more fixed times, but starting on September 14th, we will be, will you flip back to the previous one, Christine? We will be starting on this one, and you will know exactly the time your student has class. So it'll take us a minute to collate all the times from teachers and get them posted on our outward facing website, but that will be definitely an expectation that, hey, if I'm a parent, which I am, I want to know when my kid has class so that I can help support them rolling out of bed and get into class, get into Zoom. So thank you, Christine. I think that's it.
Thank you. And so how do we find success in the CDL experience? So we want to remind our students to log in daily to Google Classroom, check, because there's always going to be something there ready for them to read or look at or answer or respond to. During those scheduled those synchronous classes that are scheduled, you'll want to make sure that they can attend or have them attend. You know, if there's any issues with their class attendance, you'll want to have communication with your teacher. The more you can communicate in the online environment, the more engaging your experience will be. And you want to make sure you're asking questions. Have your students ask questions. You can ask questions. You can ask them an email. You can set up appointments for calls. You can Zoom with your teacher. You can phone call with your teacher. You can email with your teacher. So ask questions. You're not alone in this. We're all learning this together. And so it's important to know that the more you're able to get involved in this experience with your student, the more it'll feel like a community and less like an unknown oddity of what's going on. So we encourage you to get involved with your students' learning experience. We also want your students to get involved with the opportunities that they have, whether it's a club or, you know, something that's happening outside of just the learning experience as well. And just remember, always ask for help. You have counselors, administrators, success coach, teachers, other parents, other students. So the more that we create this community, the more enriching this experience will be for everyone. And so I want to share with you Parent View and Student View. Both are applications that you can either use from the website or you can download an app onto your phone. And I am a parent of students in the district, so it's exciting. I can use my cell phone, click on a button, and up comes all the information they sometimes forget to tell us. And so once you download this app, you'll have access to their classes, their teachers' emails, what their schedule looks like, and much, much more, including attendance. So it's a great application to have. And as you can see here, there's what appears to represent a cell phone. There are applications for each type of cell phone. Just look in your downloading options, and then, or from your Play Store or your iPhone store. And then you also have if you don't have a cell phone or don't have the access to be able to do that, you can go onto a computer and use the web address for the high school and be able to go to log into Parent View, Student View. You click on I'm a parent, and then it will give you information that looks exactly like the student view. So you can have that conversation and connect with your student by seeing it from the parent view. If you have not received this information, please contact Holly Stone and her email. She will connect with you immediately to ensure that you have access to all of the high school information. So trimesters, we're going to work in 12 at the high school. We work in trimesters. That's 3 trimesters. They are 12 weeks long per course, and our first trimester begins on September 8th. After November 11th, our school district will be making decisions based on the county regulations and ODE guidelines. Stacy, would you be able to speak more about when those decisions will be made specifically by the district?
Maybe Carrie could speak to
Oh,
that.
Carrie, thank you. Carrie, would you be able to speak more about that?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Can you?
I know the school board shared information in an email that they would reevaluate our ability to be able to go back to school on November 11th. Is there anything else that you can share about that?
So what that is that the school district will reconvene, the school district and board will reconvene on November 11th and relook at the data and the metrics. And at that point, we'll decide, do we want to continue CDL, or are we able to move into hybrid? We gave that date because it's really important to make sure that we give students, families, and staff enough notice. We don't want to make big changes last minute on anybody. And so that is the date we will reevaluate. That does not mean that is the date we are moving into hybrid. So we will relook at the metrics at that time.
Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it. And then just as a reminder, high schools do have finals. More information will come out about that. Those dates are set for December 7th and December 8th. More information about that will come from your teachers. All right, and to figure out exactly how all of this family communication happens, we have lots of resources for you. So I'd like to have Lynn Berry come back and tell us more about family communication.
All right, so the first thing is your students' teachers are going to be calling you if they have not done so already today and tomorrow, and maybe some have already done that. Those are from your mentor team. So I think there was a question about how do I find out my child's mentor teacher? That's how you will find out specifically until you get their schedule. So those teachers are communicating with you about a 15-minute call just to kind of touch base and introduce themselves. Oregon City High School is committed to finding the right balance of communication. So the school district will send out email blasts. There will be school newsletters. The 9th grade has family news, definitely the teacher communications. And I know you might think that your emails are getting over flooded. Make sure you're checking all your different spaces, junk mail, things like that, because sometimes those get pushed out. Not that they're junk, it's just that they just get pushed out. And then there'll be student group communications. So just know that, too much information is not bad, it's good. And if you have questions, you can certainly send a message to the school, to specific teachers, just like Christine said, any of us admin or any of us that are in this meeting here. So you'll have some emails coming your way. If you can, on there is Thursday, September 3rd, email sent to all parents. That would be tomorrow. Students about the first week of school and getting started, and links and resources to get prepared. And then Friday, the 4th of September, email will be sent to the 9th grade families and students about September 8th, which is the 9th grade orientation day information and Zoom link. So just don't hesitate to connect. Open communication is what we strive for, and we are here for you. And I know this is a lot, but we got this. So thank you.
Thank you. And if for some reason your email has changed, sometimes I forget myself where have I updated my emails. Definitely connect with Holly Stone and share that your email has been updated so that if you're not receiving any communication, we can make sure that your email address is up to date, and that way you'll get the blasts that go out. All right, so mark your calendars. School starts virtually. There will be no buses this year, and it does bring a small tear to my eye because I have a 9th grader starting high school, and I'm excited for them to have that experience. But we are so ready for the virtual classroom. Teachers are super excited. So again, 9th grade students will start on September 8th. Utilizing the Link Crew connection, meeting their teachers, and having a super day of being a 9th grader. And then on September 9th, all students 9 through 12 will start their 2020-2021 school year. if there's any questions, add them to the chat box. We'll be setting up some further Q&A if you have any further
there's a
points.
couple that we could answer right
Sure.
now because we have a couple minutes left. And Christine, you could actually answer this one.
Oh.
What does parent view does a parent view show a child's schedule? And if I have several students in OC schools, does parent view still work for me?
Oh, I love it. I have 3 students that are in the district, and so when I open up Parent View on my cell phone, I see all 3 students, and I can click on whichever student I need to look at, and it links it right to that specific student's information. But it's all in one app in one space, and you just keep clicking until you see what you need.
I'm going to go ahead and answer a question that has 2 questions together. It says, if my student misses a live synchronous session for a class, will they be recorded and able to watch the session at a later time? And one of the key pieces about that is that there will definitely be a way to make up, and there was another question about making up asynchronous sessions. There will definitely be a way for someone, if a student misses a synchronous session, that they won't be penalized. It won't necessarily be a total recording of the synchronous session because activities such as different class activities don't lend themselves to recording, but there will be intentional ways for students to help to recover that time, just the knowledge, and they will not be penalized. We definitely want to help families support getting their kids to the synchronous session because we really believe that's a way that they can connect with their new friends in classes and be able to connect with the teacher and have that really liven up the distance learning process. But definitely that piece is important. And we also understand that schedules, and we have double parents working at home, 3 kids on Zoom, and I don't think anybody's Wi-Fi can take more than about 3 Zooms at a time. And we definitely have families that are hitting that spot. So another person said, does the OCOP begin on September 8th as well? I believe so. We just heard from Gregory Simiotti, who is heading up that program, and she did confirm that there will be plenty of Google Classroom action for their gathering and for the different pieces that round out the school experience, especially with synchronous. And someone else said, any word when we might get a full year schedule, including in-service and holidays? Ms. Wilhelm could speak to that.
Great question, and thank you for your patience on that one. We had to reconfigure the district calendar and all the school calendars for all of that information. And so that will be coming out soon from Lisa Normand, our communications director, and she will share that out, and it'll be on our website soon.
Also, someone said that they use Parent View in 2 different districts. Is that merged, or would you have different logins for each district? I believe you'd have different logins for each district.
I believe it's different as well.
Yes.
But I'm not 100% sure we could get that answer and then send that out in some sort of Q&A fashion.
And someone asked, new student is a junior, could I start do they start on the 8th? Yes, you do. It's 9th grade students and new students. Someone mentioned that the tech for the district is in the process of rolling out, so please do not stress if your child does not have the tech they need. It's coming, and that's why we're doing the soft start for the 9, 10, 11, the 9th, 10th, and 11th. And so really full content will start to begin on the 14th, and hopefully we'll have most of the computers in people's hands. And I think other ones we are going to answer, we'll try to get answered in straight up. And so it says, it's too late to forecast as an incoming new sophomore. It's never too late to get started. So please call our counseling department. This counseling secretary is there and ready to go. And let's get you enrolled. And someone said, will we get OCOP information before the 8th? I believe so. Yes, for sure. So that should be coming. And someone else asked about school supplies, and general teachers will kind of specify if they have supply necessities, but because we're doing a soft start, we'll have plenty of time to get that going. And then also, if a student is sick, will they send a notice to attendance? Yes, we really want you, if you're sick or have a reason the student is excused, you call into the attendance line just like last year, or email, so that we can put that on there so teachers know to keep an eye out for helping students get caught up. And I think that's most of the questions. I feel like we kind of got it. Oh, someone asked if we get planners this year. Nope, not physical planners, but there definitely teachers will be helping students stay organized, maybe with some template organizers, and then also using Google Calendar. And so if some of these tech questions, that tech support desk from 2 to 4 on the 9th, 10th, and 11th would be great. And Carrie, do you want to wrap it up?
Yes, so thank you. Thank you all for being here. We will be, we have recorded this session and we will be posting it on our website in the next few days. So you can share that with those who weren't able to make it tonight. Thank you again for all your patience and grace as we have navigated this time. We will work on continuing to answer your questions through information that comes out in communications along with on the website. And thank you for supporting your students and advocating for them and sharing them with us at Oregon City High School. We are so proud of our students and thankful for our community and our families. So we hope you have a wonderful night, and we will see your students in a few days.
Yay!
Yay!
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.